Good morning, friends, and good morning, viewers. My name is Parwinder, and today I am representing the topic presentation. One is minimizing the present potential hazards of material and finishes for buildings. आगे कर दे Marshall. And the next slide is we are discussing that some topics like importance of material selection, and the second topic is common hazards, materials and finishes, and third topic is potential hazards posed by the unsafe materials and finishes, and fourth topic is New Zealand regulations and standards governing materials safety in construction, and fifth topic is steps for assessing materials and hazards, and last topic is conclusion. The first topic is importance of material selection. There are some importance of material selection like performance and functionality, cost efficiency, manufacturability, and safety and regulatory compliance, and last is environmental impact. Next slide is the importance of material selection. The first one is performance and functionality. The proper materials may improve the performance and benefit of a product or development. And the second is the various substances have distinct qualities such as strength, flexibility, conductivity, and heat resistance that are required for specific tasks. And the second point is cost efficiency. Material costs have a substantial influence on the entire cost of production. And the second is choosing materials that find a balance between performance and cost is critical to maintaining market competitiveness. And the next slide is the third point is manufacturability. Material qualities further impact that speed of production methods. And the fourth point is safety and regulatory compliance. Materials need to satisfy industry and legal standards to guarantee the safety of customers. And second is choosing materials that meet or exceed these standards is critical to the overall safety and quality of the product. And the fifth point is environmental impact. The materials used to manufacture a product have an impact on its effect on the environment. And the next slide is common hazards, material and finishes. There are some common hazards, materials and finishes like paints and coatings, woodworking materials, plastics, glass, structural risks, and durability issues. The first one is paints and coatings. Solvent-based paints. These paints may include chemical compounds called volatile organic compounds, also known as V, that may affect the air and gives health problems. Second is lead-based paints. Particularly in older buildings, lead-based paints can cause toxic reactions if consumed or set. And the second point is woodworking materials. Timber dirt typically is created at cutting and sanding. It may be hazards to be the lungs function and include toxins. Second is fiberglass. Some wood products such as plywood and particle board can realize chemicals creating lung feeling uncomfortable. And third point is plastics. The chemicals, some plastics contain phthalates that process causes the potential to harm the reproductive system. And the second is BPA, bisphenol A. Common in some plastics, BPA could be a health danger, particularly in food and beverage containers. And next slide is glass. hard blades. Broken glass can cause injuries because of to its sharp edges or segments. And second is handling risks. Worn glass during manufacture could result in injuries. And fifth point is structural risks. Inadequately selected materials may affect buildings framework for over time, causing safety risks. This is especially important for choosing the components that carry loads and coatings. And sixth point is durability issues. Materials that decrease fast or coatings that wash off quickly may result in maintenance issues and safety concerns, particularly in outdoor applications where exposure to weather conditions is dangerous. And next slide is potential hazards posed by unsafe materials and finishes. There are some potential hazards posed by unsafe materials like health hazards, allergenic reaction, physical hazards, environmental contamination, and radiation exposure. And the next slide is potential hazards posed by unsafe materials and finishes. The first one is health hazards. Lungs issues. Various materials and finishes may give off organic molecules, VOCs, particle matter or toxic gases that may cause asthmatic difficulties. Second is skin irritation. Access to hazardous chemicals may lead to irritation of the skin or allergic reactions, especially if handling bonds, sealants as or certain materials. Second is allergenic reaction. Allergies in fabric. Hazardous fabrics may contain allergenic or traces of pesticides, causing allergic responses in vulnerable people. Next slide is physical hazards. Sharp edges. Materials with improperly finished or sharp edges can present physical risks resulting in scratches or injuries. Second is fragile materials. Flexible or inadequately constructed material can easily break down, providing a risk of cutting or impact injuries. And fourth point is environmental contamination. Water and soil pollution, poor releasing or leakage of hazards. Chemicals can contaminate water and soil, destroying ecosystems and even entering the food chain. The fifth point is radiation exposure. Cancer from the ceramics, some glazes made from clay may contain aluminates that are radioactive, increasing the danger of radiation exposure. And the next slide is New Zealand regulations and standards governing material safety in construction. There are some New Zealand regulations and standards like Health and Safety at Work Act 2015, New Zealand Building Code, Work Safe New Zealand, and Work Safe Exposure Standards. Next slide is New Zealand regulations and standards governing material safety in construction. The first one is Health and Safety at Work Act 2015. This act establishes an overall framework for job duties, health and safety in New Zealand. The second is New Zealand Building Code. The building code specifies the minimum performance standards for buildings in New Zealand. And third point is Work Safe NZ. Work Safe is New Zealand's essential legislative body in charge of maintaining and upholding workplace health and safety standards. Fourth point is Workplace Exposure Standards. WorkSafe established these standards to control the breathing amount of dangerous compounds in the workplace. And the next slide is the last topic is steps for assessing material hazards. The first there are some steps assessing materials hazards like chemical composition, health hazards, environmental hazards, fire and exploding hazards, exposure routes, risk assessment and control measures. The next slide is the first one is chemical composition. Identify the chemical nature of the material, analyze and recognize all the chemical components including defects and waste products, And second is health hazards. Assess any potential health risks related with the material. Second is consider toxicity, cancer risk, irritation, awareness, and other health effects. Check exposure limits and acceptable exposure levels. And third point is environmental hazards. Assess the possible environmental effects such as freshwater toxic effects, soil pollution, and air emission. And fourth point is fire and exploding hazards. And fifth point is exposure routes, and sixth point is risk assessment, and seventh point is control measures. And the last final topic is conclusion. In conclusion, minimizing the potential risk of building materials and finishes is critical for producing secure and environmentally friendly structure. The architect and the builder may help residents and the public at large by encouraging the use of environmentally sound and ecologically friendly materials. A comprehensive inspection and dedication to safety regulations are necessary to detect and reduce any possible danger connected with the chosen materials. And thank you.
So how many minutes?
11 minutes.
So one quick question for you. What are the exposure routes here? Steps versus individual. What do you mean by exposure routes?
Exposure routes.
So what does it mean by exposure routes?
Exposure routes like inhalation, ingestion, or skin contact. It's like item inhalation, ingestion, and or skin contact. It is the workplace and environmental exposure methods.
And what are the control measures you will be applying there?
To the carry out to the control measure to reduce or eliminate the identified dangers. So that's why control measure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next one is